Every second a 3DS will be gone, the 3DS will break down, and they will get scares. Oh no! How could my 3DS break that easy? Well, hello, it's a fantastic day today and I'm glad you're here with me. In this episode, I talk about why you should get a 3DS in 2022, why you should get a 3DS before it's too late. Here we go. I have 4 points why you should get a 3DS in 2022, and at the end, I kind of talk about which 3DS you should get and where you could get it. So let's start with the first point. It's the amazing library of games. The 3DS has so many awesome games, so many amazing, unique games that you only can play on the 3DS, and this is my first point here. Lots of these games use all the unique functions, which I will come to a bit later, but these games will be hard to emulate in the future. They will be hard to port, lots of these games, because these unique features are not only gimmicks, they are really important for the gameplay most of the times. So even if these games will be ported, they will have to strip away lots of features like the dual screen, like the 3D, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I don't see many of these games being ported, and I see these games not being emulated so well in the future. And this is one of the reasons why you should get a 3DS in 2022. Lots of these games will stay on the 3DS. This is how I see it. So this is one of the reasons why you should get a 3DS right now. So we were talking about the unique features of the 3DS, and this is the next point here, why you should get a 3DS right now. And what are the unique features of the 3DS? Well, first of all, we have the 3D feature. So you can play games in 3D without glasses, and if you chose one of the later models, the 3D feature really is awesome, and it really looks amazing and stunning, and it's so unique. No other console has ever done that, and I think no other console will do that, at least not for the foreseeable future. The 3D function is amazing. But even if you don't like the 3D and turn the slider down or choose a 2DS, there are other features that are really vital, like for instance the dual screen. The upper screen most of the times is where the gameplay is and where you have the 3D feature if you decide to have one, and the lower screen is where all the action is. You have a stylus, like a pen, where you could do so much in games. Some games even utilize both screens as a full screen where stuff is scrolling, or you have like a picture or a cutscene or even gameplay on both screens. So this is such a unique feature. This is why it will be so hard to emulate and to port to other consoles, because there's no other console currently that has a dual screen, and I probably think there won't be any, but for now it's kind of stuck on the 3DS. And the 3DS has so many more features. The whole system is packed full of awesome and unique features. We have the camera using augmented reality, we have the microphone where you can blow in or where you can do other stuff. Another feature is the gyroscope within the 3DS. For instance, Pokemon X and Y had a Pokemon Inkay. I love this Pokemon so much, and if you wanted to evolve this Pokemon, at one point in the game you actually had to turn your 3DS upside down to evolve this Pokemon, which is such a unique feature. It was mind-blowing back then. It's almost 10 years ago now, but this feature is so amazing, and all of these features are integrated in lots of games on the 3DS. This is what makes it hard to port, as I said, and this is also what makes it so unique and such an awesome console. So this is my point number 2. Let's go over to point number 3. This is quite simply the backwards compatibility to DS games. The DS was the predecessor of the 3DS and also had a dual screen back then, and you can play each and every DS game on the 3DS. It's backwards compatible, and this means this opens up a whole nother world of hundreds, maybe even thousands of other games that you can play on the 3DS, which is so amazing. This is my third reason why you should get a 3DS in 2022. You not only can play all the 3DS games, but also all the DS games. Hundreds and thousands of awesome games out there that you can play. And this is so unique, so awesome. And this is one of my reasons why you should get a 3DS right now. Now, to my fourth point is simply the Eshop will close in March 2023 next year. And this will change a lot for the future of the 3DS and its family of systems. So get a 3DS right now, because you can go to the eShop and download games digital. If you're fan of digital games, this will stop next year. Or if you like to have backup copies, digital backup copies on your 3DS. And also there are games that are only available on the 3DS eShop, so they are digital only, that you only can get there. So this is another point why you should get a 3DS right away. Maybe this is even the strongest point I make here right now, because again, as of next year, March 2023, we won't have an eShop on the 3DS anymore, so you only can get physical games from that point on. And lots of these games will climb up in price because it's Nintendo and because these games are either rare or highly thought after or popular, whatever. So you should get a 3DS right now, and maybe even consider, even if you don't like digital games like I do, you should consider buying lots of these games in the eShop, because they just cost you like 10, 20, 30, 40 euros, and if you go online, they cost you 100, 150, 2, 3, 400 euros, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Before we go over to the last 2 points, which 3DS should I get and where can I buy the 3DS, let me introduce you to James from How to Game Differently, and let's hear his thoughts on why you should get a 3DS in 2022. Take it away, James.
Hello, James from How to Game Differently here. One of the key reasons why you should make sure that you've got yourself a 3DS is that it's a little Pokemon machine. And this is kind of what I used my 3DS as when I first got it. It has the capability to play Generation 1 all the way to Generation 7. Now the way that works is that you got red and blue and yellow, which is Gen 1, all on the eShop. You've got Generation 2, so that's silver, gold and crystal, on the eShop as well. You can also play Heart Gold and Soul Silver on the DS version if you wanted to play that kind. Now Generation 3 is a little bit funny. You kind of have to play the remaster of that game, which is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which are really good remakes. Then for Gen 4 you're playing Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. For Generation 5 it's Black and White and Black and White 2 on the DS. And then you're jumping straight onto more 3DS games, Pokemon X, Pokemon Y for, well, Generation 6, and then Generation 7 being Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So that's a ton of Pokemon games all on one little system. And one of the great things about having all these games on that system is there's a software on here called Pokemon Bank. Now Pokemon Bank lets you transfer all of your Pokemon that you caught in all those games that I've just spoken about up to your Switch version with Pokemon Home. So you can transfer everything up to Pokemon Sword and Shield, to Generation 9, which has been recently announced. So there's a lot you can be doing Pokemon wise on this little console. So that is my main reason why you should be getting yourself a 3DS now. Anyway, thank you very much, Andy, for letting me be on your channel, and I'll pass it back to you. Bye.
Such a great point that the 3DS is a Pokemon machine. I myself played on the 3DS for several of years to collect all 807 Pokemon, as you can see right now. And this took me several years, and I transferred them via the Pokebank, like James mentioned. And yeah, the 3DS is a great Pokemon machine. Definitely get it if you're a Pokemon fan. And what Jim said also, yeah, it is quite close now. I think you still can get some bargains. I've seen 2DSs for around 30 to 40 pounds or quid, and I've also seen lots of games sealed for retail price and lots of bargains here and there. Of course there are some expensive 3DS consoles and games out there, but I think you still can get your hands on a 3DS or 2DS and on some awesome games. So thanks again for being on the show, guys. Links to their channels are in the description box, which you can find under this video. Now, let's go over to which 3DS should I get and where can I buy it. So in total there are 6 systems in the 2D and 3DS family. It's quite a lot, so here we go. We have the Nintendo 3DS, we have the Nintendo 3DS XL, we have the Nintendo 2DS, we have the new Nintendo 3DS, we have the new Nintendo 3DS XL, and we have the new Nintendo 2DS XL. So you see 6 different consoles, lots of decisions to make, which one should I get, and I just keep it fairly short here and straight to the point. Either get the latest model of the 3DS family, which is the new Nintendo 3DS XL, or if you don't care for the 2D feature, go for the new Nintendo 2DS XL. But just for a second, give me the opportunity here to say something in case you should decide against the new 3DS XL. If you should decide, I don't need the 3DS. The 3DS, if you have experiences on older 3DS systems, wasn't quite that good. But on the new 3DS XL, it's amazing. It really functions well. You can move the system, you can move your head, you still have the imagery in 3D, and I think it's stunning. I love the 3D feature. I know there are people out there who say they either don't like it and don't care for it, or people who love it. And I am on the side of people who are loving the 3D feature. Give it a chance. I think I have a headache. And also, if you don't like the 3D feature, you just can turn the slider down and off, so you still can play games in 2D there. So you have the option to play either in 2D or 3D. You don't have that option with the new 2DS XL. Lastly, on these consoles, there are some new Nintendo 2DS and 3DS games that you only can play on the later systems. The new Nintendo 2DS XL and the new Nintendo 3DS XL both had a better processor, better CPU. Some games like, for instance, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, you only could play this game on the 2 latest models of the 2DS and 3DS family of systems. So these are my recommendations. There's one thing to keep in mind though. Of course, the latest 2 models of the 3DS family of systems are the most expensive ones. So if you want to go a bit cheaper, you also could go for the original 3DS or the base 2DS model. These are way cheaper, but I can't recommend enough to get the latest 2 models because they're just the strongest iteration of these consoles. You can do much more on them. They have more battery life, the better CPU, you can play all games on them, and so on and so forth. Even though you have to dig a bit deeper into your wallet for these, but it's absolutely worth it, and I would recommend getting these. And now to the last point, where should I get a 3DS? These are not available at retailers anymore because the 3DS was discontinued in 2019-2020. So you have to go online. And what I always recommend is looking locally. You have, for instance, Facebook Marketplace or other websites, local websites, conventions, whatnot, local stores where you can get these. This is where I would recommend looking up the new 3DS XL or the new 2DS XL. And websites like eBay always should be the last resort if you can't find it anywhere else. I know some people don't live in big cities or in other regions where you don't have local video game shops. I myself don't have a local video game shop, so you have to look online. But again, there are things like Facebook Marketplace and all these little websites where you can buy locally off of other people. So this is what I would recommend. So if you haven't had the chance to play on one of these things, definitely check it out if you can. They are amazing. And yeah, get one before they get too expensive, or before you just don't have a chance anymore, because myself as a video game fan, there are so many things that I wanted to have for my whole life, and I was saying to myself, I will get these later, and now some of these are not affordable for me anymore. So yeah, this is why I made this video. I really hope this helps you, and let me know this down in the comments. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, it's helpful. I see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.